everybody, I'm Joe from Joe's Steaks. This is Joe's Steaks, Tarsdale Avenue. This is the original. We have a second location in Fishtown at Girard Avenue. We've been here since 1949. We sell authentic cheesesteaks. Originally American cheese with onions. We also have a variety of other stuff, but we're famous for our milkshakes, extra thick milkshakes, and our cheesesteaks, which are made with ribeye steaks, made to order. So come and see us.
Joe's Steak and Soda Shop, Torresdale Avenue, Northeast Philly, one of the stalwarts of the Philadelphia cheesesteak scene since 1949. 2 owners since 1949. Let me say that again. 2 owners since 1949. Still making great cheesesteaks, great milkshakes. This is one of those places that if you went there 10 years ago, you can go there tomorrow. And then you can go there 10 years from now, you're going to get the same cheesesteak and the same milkshake. And once COVID's over, you can go inside and see the phone booth, rotary phone. Who has one of those?
So the Cheesesteak Adventure March Cheesesteak Madness continues. Torresdale Avenue, Joe's since 1947. All right, Joe's the original. Go get them.
All right.
Nice. So just starting off, there's a lot of mushrooms on this one.
This is a good steak. You can really taste the steak meat. Also that subtle taste of mushroom, which I really like. Really comes out.
Yeah, the meat's nice and tender. I love the salt and pepper on it. Yeah, very good. Not a seeded roll, but very firm roll, so it's kind of perfect.
Yeah, it's firm but not seeded. It is a little bit greasy.
I like the grease. I like it. It's not on the roll, it's on the meat. So it's a good amount.
You're weird.
I think this is a great. I mean, it's a great classic steak in the Northeast.
This is classic Philly. That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is a classic Philly steak. When you talk about where to get a cheesesteak from, this is what you're expecting to get.
Yeah, I think part of getting a steak here is that it's Joe's. It's always going to be on top of the list. So it definitely adds to it.
Classic steak. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, very good overall steak. I ate all mine. Yeah, the mushrooms weren't too bad. I want to get it on my cheesesteak like the other place, but it wasn't too bad.
Can I also get a thing of
Chicken fingers and fries? What kind? 4 or 6? 4. Oh yeah. Made your cheesesteak. This is my special. You can call it John's cheesesteak or whatever, but this be smacking more than anything. I recommend it to anybody to come to Fat Mom's and try my cheesesteak. You know, best.
Fat Mom's, Ann Street, Port Richmond neighborhood of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is the Philadelphia only Philadelphians know, and I stumbled on. Port Richmond. Who knew Port Richmond had a nice park with the birds singing, nice big old trees, park benches, and then you go across the street to Fat Mom's, and there's John back there by the grill. $5 cheesesteak. Ask for the John special, no salt, and a ton of tastes. Welcome to Philadelphia.
Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure March Cheesesteak Madness. Listen to the birds singing in Port Richmond. Here we are. Fat Mom's, Ann Street.
Ready for the first bite for the Fat Moms?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so it's nice and condensed, right? It's a pretty jam-packed sandwich.
$5.
$5. So
$5 after tax in the city.
This is a great neighborhood sandwich. The chef didn't use any salt. He used a bunch of different flavors in there. So the meat is so well seasoned.
yeah, this is a good neighborhood sandwich.
He said he didn't want to use salt on it. He used like garlic, cumin, spices. It's not spicy at all. It said it was going to be spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good.
I think there's ketchup on it. There's ketchup.
There is ketchup, but
A little bit of cheese, but not too much cheese.
You don't really.
It's
Ketchup
packed.
doesn't overpower.
It's packed really tight, but it's there's a lot of meat in there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can taste the ketchup, but it's a very subtle taste. It really all comes together. It's a good flavor. It really comes together.
It took them 3 years to come up with that flavor.
Wow.
Yeah, very good. I mean, it's softer of a roll, but it's a neighborhood roll. I mean, that's what you get. But very, very tasty.
I think this is Amoroso rolls. It's much softer, no seeds. It's good, but much more like neighborhood. Like when you want to get a cheesesteak, you don't feel like going to somewhere that is has the reputation. This is what you expect.
Yeah, yeah, $5. It's not a ton of cheese, but it's the right amount of cheese. But I think one of my favorite parts is how cooked the steak is. It's got the nice burn on it. I really like that. It's cooked long enough on the grill, but not too long.
And he calls this John's steak. So he says
it's John's sandwich.
John's sandwich. He says if you're in, it took him 3 years to come up with this creation. You just ask for John's sandwich. So, but it's good. I like it. It all comes together very nicely.
Alright, how you doing? Northeast Life again with Philadelphia Cheesesteak Adventure. Philadelphia Region March Madness Challenge. So we're going to discuss 2 more cheesesteak places we stopped by. One being Fat Mom's and the second being Joe's Original. One of the classic cheesesteak places in Philly, and then Fat Mom's is just kind of a mom and pop place in Port Richmond. We got to talk to the chef there, John. He's a really cool, down-to-earth guy, telling us how he perfected his cheesesteak. And so we're going to go through the ranking in the order, and I think, as I've said before, the way we rank them or rate them is based on the roll, the meat, the cheese, any extras, and the experience. So
yeah. So Joe's is classic Northeast, right? I don't think any of us haven't been to Joe's when you lived in the Northeast. Tarsdale Avenue, Lower Tacony. It was named. It had a different name in the past. It went through a name change maybe 10 years ago, and super busy. People coming up the entire time we were there. As far as the roll, it was crispy, no seeds. I personally enjoy seeds on my roll, but no seeds there. Full of meat, I thought, and a little greasy, but that also, I think, brings to mind what a Philly cheesesteak is. I don't think any of us have ever had a classic Philly cheesesteak without a certain amount of grease on it. You're just expecting a little bit of that. But I thought it was a little much as far as the grease. I think you liked it.
No, I liked it. So just going down the list with the roll, the grease. I don't like a greasy, soggy roll, but the meat, I like some grease on the roll. But comparing the rolls, Fat Mom's is a very classic neighborhood cheesesteak place we grew up on. Not a special place that you'll ever see was a $5 cheesesteak. It's a neighborhood shop, the place you get food from.
Here's my thing with Fat Mom's, is that the roll itself, yes, classic,
probably Amoroso's.
Yes, it's that soft roll, and the thing with the soft roll is that it tends to start falling apart.
But it did not fall apart. It was held together pretty well.
I agree, it did not. But this is the roll. Hey, I'm driving home from work. I'm gonna pick up some stuff, bring it home, get changed, shower. Right. The longer that roll sits, the more likely that it starts to fall apart. So that's why I prefer the crispy. And usually those crispy rolls are seeded. But
the Joe's roll, without being seeded, it was a good firm roll. It was good. It held together. It's
compact.
Yeah,
that sandwich was compact. Full of meat too.
Now the meat at Fat Mom's, we were talking to the chef a little bit, and he doesn't like to use salt for different reasons, for health reasons. So he actually used a lot of different seasonings in it. Cumin, he told me it was going to be spicy. It wasn't too spicy. He could have probably made it a little bit more spicy, but
you really couldn't taste the cumin in it. And I do like cumin, but you really couldn't taste it.
He used a lot of different flavors: cumin, garlic powder, different pepper. I think red pepper flakes or something. He said.
Yeah, and I'm all in favor of spicy, so I lay it on. So, the amount of cheese on both steaks, I thought that Joe's clearly won out with the amount of cheese. And in some respects, it, similar to like Cafe Camarella we had previously discussed, had a little too much cheese. And again, you want a cheese steak, but the steak is what it should dominate, not the cheese. So, Joe's teetered on that, I thought.
But the cheese, it was classic American cheese. It brought the saltiness to the steak. I think the cheese added the flavor to the steak and helped with the steak. Fat Moms could have used a little bit more steak. The steak it wasn't greasy, which is why I think the steak didn't fall apart. But it could have used just a little bit more cheese.
See, I thought Fat Moms could have used more cheese.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't dry per se, but I didn't think it had enough cheese. And in fact, we'll move to the next one, the extras. Fat Moms had mayo and ketchup, and see, I think the whole purpose of that is to make up for the lack of cheese, because a different type of flavor comes out with those two things on.
Yep. Do a lager.
I'm okay. Yeah. Yeah, whereas, a more classic steak was Joe's. He put some mushrooms on there. Could have been cooked a little longer, but
I
were
disagree
good.
with classic being mushrooms, but there's mushrooms on it for comparison reasons.
Listen.
To make it a fair comparison between steaks, but
Just gonna ask, come on. Mayo
No.
and ketchup on a steak.
mayo and ketchup is neighborhood special. That's what you get. The neighborhood spots, you get mayo. You get mayo and ketchup on it.
If you want this $5 steak at Fat Mom's, you would ask for John's sandwich. He does call it his special sandwich, and it was not a bad sandwich. But I just felt that the mayo and ketchup are on there to make up for a lack of something
It
else.
was not. That is his. I asked him for his steak, and that was his steak, and it was well put together. But at the end, we have to rank the two, or compete the two against each other, despite how good they both were. So, what's your number one of the two?
So I do think they were both good sandwiches. I think in this one though, I think Joe's is going to win out. I really love that classic steak, and late on a Friday night, that's what I want to eat after being out.
It's been around so long for a reason. It's just a good solid steak. I got to go with Joe's. But thanks, John, for the steak. It was very, very tasty.
Yeah, I did like it, John. But sorry.